Alright, what is going on, everybody? We are here with a new video. Bleacher Report came out with this report of one player every NBA team quit on too soon. And so what I thought I would do is put each of those players on those rosters, and we'll see which team improves the most. You'll clearly tell that some teams got way more than other teams got. So we will start with the Atlanta Hawks. Or, you know what, I'll just run through the rosters. I won't really show you guys the article, but if you guys care, this is the article. I will just hide that for now and then show you guys, because some people aren't in 2K, so I did have to manually put in a different player. So for the 76ers, Jerry Stackhouse was the guy in the article, and I think this is a fantastic fit around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. You get a lot of shooting with Jerry Stackhouse. His ratings are actually crazy, and you have a solid defensive guy too. So I think this team is definitely one of the best teams in the league. I think shooting guard was definitely its biggest need, and now it's good. For the Bucks, you got the man Ray Allen. That's exactly how you build around Giannis, is you get guys who can shoot the ball, preferably catch and shoot, because Giannis is doing his best when he is in control of the ball, and Ray Allen is one of the best catch and shoot players there ever were. In my books, he's top 3. For the Bulls, we have LaMarcus Aldridge. For active players, I did just put the person who is currently on like an active roster. So the Spurs no longer have LaMarcus Aldridge. I didn't do this for older players. You'll see later on Marcus Gasol. I didn't put the current Marcus Gasol on because that literally would have meant nothing. I did use like a prime Marcus Gasol. So, but for the Bulls, you do have LaMarcus Aldridge. He is not the best player on the team. Definitely a big improvement. I don't think it's going to be good enough to get them into the playoffs. For the Cavs, I forgot to do the Cavs, actually. After I show you guys everybody, I will figure out what to do for the Cavs. Most likely, if there's someone in free agency that they once had, hopefully I can just do that. If not, I might just upgrade one of these players like Kevin Love, who's very old, into a prime Kevin Hart. Just because I forgot about them, because the player in the article was not the player, or was not in 2K. For the Celtics, we have Chauncey Billups, who I did not know was on the Celtics at any point, but he was, which pushes Kemba to a 6-man role. Obviously not its biggest need. A center would have helped a lot more, but this is who was in the article. So we went with Chauncey Billups. I think he's a big time improvement from Kemba Walker. He brings the defense as well as the offense. So this is definitely one of the best teams. Who's probably going to set up top the East. The Bucks, I think, are a little better with Ray Allen. As far as the Clippers go, I did give them basically last season's Blake Griffin. He was traded to the Pistons, and I think he had his best season ever on the Pistons. And it was not many people know about it because, you know, he was on the Pistons. No one really cares about them, sadly. As a Detroit fan, I would know, though. But giving them a prime, in my opinion, not physically prime, but basically his best season ever, where his offense is just a lot better. You have a really good 3-point, you have a decent mid-range, and you have solid playmaking too. Sadly, Kawhi Leonard did leave, and you can probably guess what team he's going to be on, and we'll get to them eventually. For the Grizzlies, we do have Kyle Lowry. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits with Ja Morant. They did not want 2K did not want to start Kyle Lowry, so I just put him in at shooting guard, and hopefully it works out because I think this is a very interesting team with Ja Morant, Kyle Lowry, and that is the current Kyle Lowry because he is an 84 overall. So, you know, as far as the Hawks go, they get that man Luka Doncic. I know they wouldn't have gotten Trae Young, but this is just how we're doing it. They did get the current Luka Doncic, which means the Mavs don't, and I'm very sad because the Mavs got a really good player, a very good player. But this team is really solid, very solid. Obviously, in 2K, Clint Capella is way better than he is in real life. But having Trae Young and Luka, both fantastic playmakers, fantastic offensive talents. This team, I think is going to go crazy. Hopefully they do. They're probably going to be the team I'm going to pay attention to just because I think they're the most interesting. As far as the Heat go, they did get Steve Smith. They did end up losing Goran Dragic, which is kind of sad. But this is obviously a big improvement. Him with Jimmy Butler and Adebayo, there's a new big three in Miami. And I think this team is pretty solid. For the Hornets, we got Alonzo Mourning. They could have used literally anybody. So this team is still trash. But at least they have an all-time great player in Alonzo Mourning. For the Jazz, I gave them Del Curry. I forget who they had in the article, but it was not Del Curry. I will look real fast, actually, for the Jazz. It was Mo Williams. Okay, so the Jazz were Mo Williams. He was on 2K. It was weird because the database said he was in 2K, but he actually isn't. So anyway, they have Del Curry. I moved him to small forward. That's what his backup position is. And I think this is a really solid team with Donovan Mitchell, Del Curry, and Rudy Gobert. And then you do have Bogdanovich at the power forward. The bench is definitely lacking. This team is actually, very impressive. I never really taken a minute to look at how good the Jazz actually were with, the players that they have. As far as the Kings go, I did give them Isaiah Thomas. I just used the free agent, Isaiah Thomas, because he's not on any other team, surprisingly. So I couldn't give him the Isaiah Thomas from 4 years ago, 4 years ago. So I just basically made that Isaiah Thomas as best I could. His offense is amazing. His playmaking is amazing. And I just gave him a bunch of badges that I thought fit himself very well. So him next to De'Aaron Fox, though, might be a little iffy. His defense is okay, but they are both, they did not have a backup position, so De'Aaron Fox is just going to play the shooting guard because Isaiah Thomas is, 5'0". But I think that is definitely a big improvement. I forget who. Oh, they had Buddy Hield, right? A shooting guard who is on a different team. So I guess it's good that they got Isaiah Thomas. For the Knicks, you got Gallinari. That's it. That's all you got. He is the highest rated player. This team is not going to do good. Probably still the worst team. For the Lakers, you get a prime Marc Gasol. I'm kind of annoyed. I accidentally put a prime Marc Gasol because I totally forgot that he was on the Raptors. But, so Lakers lucked out. I am very upset about that. But now you have LeBron James, AD, and Marc Gasol, probably the best big three in the league. Yeah, probably the best three in the league. But now you have Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee off the bench. You have just a ridiculous amount of centers. So, but their offensive lineup is literally crazy. Constantly in 2K, they're always winning the championship. Them or the Clippers or the Bucks. So, I'd imagine that the Lakers are gonna bode really well in the simulation. For the Magic, probably the biggest improvement. They get Shaquille O'Neal, prime Shaq. This guy's gonna be a beast, most dominant player in the history of basketball. The team around him, though, Marco Fultz isn't a good shooter. Evan Fournier is. John Isaac isn't great, and neither is Aaron Gordon. So I don't know how well the spacing is going to be on this team. Because outside Evan Fournier, you don't have fantastic shooters. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping Shaq wins MVP. I feel like he's gonna, just because he doesn't have a great team around him, and he's literally a beast. Same thing goes with Alonzo Mourning. He just doesn't have a good team around, so he's going to have to do everything himself. This is what I was talking about with the Mavericks. Really wish they still had Luka, because Steve Nash, Luka, and Kristaps would have been a great top big three. Definitely would have been competing with AD, LeBron, Marc Gasol for the best top three in the league. But yeah, without Luka, I don't see this team doing fantastic anymore. I can't believe they actually win so much in these simulations, because their bench is solid. Their bench is solid, not fantastic. I mean, their starting lineup isn't fantastic either, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. For the Nets, let me check who the Nets had, because I know I did have to change this person. For the Nets, we had Mookie Blaylock, who was not in 2K, so I added Kyle Korver. Obviously, he was traded for a copy machine? A copy machine, right? Fax machine, copy machine, something like that. On draft night, I think. So I think he's a really good player, beside Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. His defense actually is really bad. Kyrie's is not good either, so they're definitely going to struggle defensively. But offensively, Kyle Korver is like a perfect player to play alongside Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, who are two very ball-dominant players. So now you just add a top 3 catch-and-shoot player of all time, and you're good. Other than that, this team is just a very solid team. Their bench isn't super deep, though, which is sad. But you do have Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert off the bench, so their guards they might have the best set of guards in the league, since it's just so deep. For the Nuggets, you had Dikembe Mutombo next to the Joker. I mean, look at his defense. A+. The Joker definitely needs some help. He's only a B, so that's really going to help. I mean, he can do everything. The Joker can do everything on the offensive side. So this team improved so much in the exact position that I think they needed, because they did have... Who did they have? They had Paul Millsap starting at power forward and then the Joker at center. So I think Mutombo is just a great addition. That's really going to help out this team. Pacers, Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, I mean, one of the best improvements of any team. I forget who was starting at small forward, but now you got Kawhi Leonard. So huge improvement. Him next to Victor Oladipo and Malcolm Brogdon, who is a pretty good defender. Victor Oladipo, I know, is an amazing defender. Kawhi Leonard, I think, was the best defender since he's been drafted, really. And then you have Sabonis, too, and Miles Turner, so this team's actually crazy. For the Pelicans, not a huge addition. They're maybe the only team whose player is not starting for them. They have Buddy Hield, who's like he's a great shooter. He's a great shooter. Obviously, they traded Buddy Hield for DeMarcus Cousins, and so that was before Anthony Davis was gone. So we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, this would have been better if Anthony Davis was still on the team. And then you have Buddy Hield, but Buddy Hield is a great player to have around Zion, just to help space that floor. Yeah, they gave him a B+, which is... For the Pistons, you have Allen Houston. I don't really know anything about him. But this team, since they got rid of Blake Griffin, we had to get rid of Blake Griffin for this. So he would go back to the Clippers. We needed help at any position, basically, besides point guard. But I guess point guard would have also been good too. But Allen Houston's the guy. Not much to say about them, sadly, considering Detroit's my team. For the Raptors, you have Marcus Camby. Great defender. Score inside. He has a solid mid-range too. They got rid of Kyle Lowry, which is sad. But Marcus Camby is definitely a big improvement over Serge and Marcus All. So, for the Rockets, they got Richard Jefferson. Very, 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 very nice addition. Richard Jefferson is very solid offensively. We did have to get rid of James Harden. You guys can guess which team he's on now. It's very sad that he had to go, because I think this team would have been crazy good. I mean, Russ, James Harden, and Richard Jefferson, again, would have been a fantastic top 3. One of the best top 3 in the league. For the Spurs, oh yeah, they also have a 6th man, Goran Dragic. I didn't really see any point of starting him. Again, I did adjust what 2K originally had. But Goran Dragic isn't really a huge improvement over DeJounte Murray, if at all. So, For the Suns, you get Rajon Rondo playing alongside Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. I think he is a fantastic point guard to have alongside Devin Booker, and he's basically a significantly better version of Ricky Rubio. Yeah, I mean, Ricky Rubio is basically known for his playmaking and not so much his shooting, and that's basically what Rajon Rondo is, just better at whatever Ricky Rubio does. For the Thunder, they got James Harden back. Very ironic. Now you have Chris Paul and James Harden back, and then you also have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Steven Adams. I think this is a very good team. One of the most improved teams, I think. Because they didn't really have to give up anybody, did they? Yeah, I don't think they had to give up anybody. So, definitely a huge improvement. Definitely see this as a really good playoff team. For the Timberwolves, Brandon Roy. Did not know this at all. But yeah, Brandon Roy with D'Lo and Cat. Definitely a first-round exit. As far as the Trailblazers, Zach Randolph. This is such a good starting lineup. This is one of the best starting lineups I think there are in the league. Zach Randolph can hit that three-pointer, man. Fantastic shooter. He's a good defender, right, too? Not actually as good as I thought. For some reason, I remember him as a better defender. But Dame, CJ, Carmelo moving back to the small forward puts him back up to an 80. They didn't want to start Randolph, and they had Carmelo at the 4, and I think they have Trevor Ariza starting at small forward, so I had to quickly change that. But this team's actually crazy. They have a solid bench, too, with Nurkic as a big man. No good guards off the bench, really, but this team's actually crazy. As far as the Warriors, you have Mitch Richmond. This starting three, Steph Curry, Mitch Richmond, and Klay Thompson. If you had it a couple years ago, you have a prime Draymond Green, too. This lineup would have been crazy, but I think, again, one of the best top 3 in the league. For the Wizards, you got Chris Webber. Him next to John Wall and Bradley Beal, I think, is going to be a fantastic fit. He brings that playmaking, he brings that defense, and that inside scoring. So the Bucks are probably going to do the best, but I am most interested in that Hawks team. So I am going to follow the Hawks. I am going to simulate the season, look at stats and everything after, and we'll see where we are. All right, season wrapped up. Giannis still MVP at almost 28 points a game, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Kind of surprised the assists weren't higher, but yeah. Zion, Rookie of the Year, Dennis Schroeder, 6th man. Defensive player, Dikembe Mutombo. Did we have anybody? So we had Luka on the Hawks as first team, and you have Shaq as first team. Then we had Chris Webber. Then James Harden on the Thunder, Steve Nash on the Mavericks, and then Alonzo Mourning on the Hornets. As far as defensive team goes, yeah, okay. That's what that is. Let's see what the playoffs are looking like. We got the Lakers in Denver, OKC, Utah, Clippers, Portland, Golden State, New Orleans. Golden State was just fantastic in the sim. Boston, Chauncey Billups, bro. He put them over the edge. He took them over the edge. Mr. Big Shot is about to win another finals. So yeah, they're versing the Hawks. Surprised they didn't do as good as they did with Luka, because they didn't lose anybody. They just added Luka. So that's just how terrible the Hawks are. You add one of the best players in the league, and they're still only an 8th seed. Brooklyn and Washington. Washington jumped a lot. That's surprising. Milwaukee, Indiana, and Philadelphia, Orlando. Orlando, exactly where I thought they'd be. Let's see, we got the Lakers. Warriors, yeah, very surprising about the Warriors. Let's see, offensively, Golden State was amazing, and that Portland team, they just had a solid lineup. Let me check the East. We have, okay, so Philly and Boston both tied, and then Milwaukee was not that far behind. I'm surprised Milwaukee was not significantly better. Offensively, the Bucks were the best. Defensively, the Pistons were the best. Oh, no, the worst, sorry. Philadelphia was the best. Point differential, yeah. Season stats. We're going to go league leaders. Sorry, Curry led the league. Devin Booker, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving. Nothing really changed at all. You didn't really have any older players there. Rebounds, you got Gobert. Then you have Shaq. Shaq's up there. Giannis, Steven Adams, Andre Drummond. Assist, you have Steve Nash and Rajon Rondo. Rondo with Devin Booker is just crazy. You have Luka, then you have current Rondo, and then you have LeBron James. You have Billups leading with those assists. Oh my gosh. His points aren't as high as I thought they would be, but I guess he does have like a fantastic team, the second best team he's ever had around him. So let's get to simming these playoffs. Simulate round. Oh no! Oh my gosh! The Hawks just 4-0'd Boston. What the heck? Wow. I told you, man. Luka, 24, 13, and 4. I told you, man. They're a playoff team. They are a playoff team, bro. Trae Young and Luka Doncic, possibly the best backcourt in the league. But besides them, you have Brooklyn being Washington 7, Milwaukee, 4-1 to Indiana, and Orlando made it past Philadelphia 4-1. I'm rooting for them. In the West, you got Lakers beating Denver, OKC making it, Golden State sweeping New Orleans, and then you have Portland making it over the Clippers. Not too surprised about that. They don't have Kawhi, so... And that Portland team, I told you, that Portland team is a solid team. Let's get past the second round, and... The Nets were eliminated. Oh my gosh. 8th seeded Hawks. I told you guys. I told you, don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. Orlando loses in 7. Very sad. That Portland team loses in 7. And Oklahoma, they all lost in 7. Oklahoma with James Harden. Wow. Wow. So you have the Lakers, of course. Golden State, that's very surprising because they don't have any good big men. But I guess they literally just have one of the best big 3. So yeah, everybody seems to have really so all the teams who made it had a very big improvement. The Lakers with Marc Gasol, one of the best centers in the league now. I mean, given he wasn't with LeBron and AD, he'd be putting up, top 2 center numbers. But then you have Golden State. Mitch Richmond was a huge upgrade. Milwaukee, Ray Allen was an amazing upgrade. I don't see how they didn't get the first seed. I don't see how they didn't win 70 games, honestly. And then the Hawks, you get Luka. Yeah. Simulate this round. Dang, Golden State was swept. Hawks lost in 5, man. This Lakers team is no joke, man. LeBron, 34 and 12. AD, 23 and 11. Dwight Howard off the bench, 20 and 10. Marc Gasol actually didn't do much in the closeout game. But you got Lakers, Bucks, simulate round, and the Bucks win in 7. Did the Lakers lose a 3-1 lead? I think they did. Giannis was your regular season MVP, and he's your finals MVP at 25 points a game, 11 rebounds, 6.5 assists. Shot really well. Let's see what this closeout game was like. Wow, they only beat him in 2. I wish I simcast. Oh, man. Anthony Davis dropping 27. Marc Gasol, 22 and 13. LeBron, 17 and 8. Did a little underwhelming from LeBron, but it looked like it was a well-rounded game for them. But the Bucks, it was also a well-rounded game, actually. They just have a very deep team. Ray Allen dropped 17, man. So Ray Allen puts the Bucks over the top. That's what you guys got to do, Bucks. All right, go back in time, or not back in time. I guess you want the current Bucks, but you want prime Ray Allen. So just find one of the all-time greatest three-point shooters of all time. And this was actually a young Ray Allen. This was all-time OKC, so he was a very athletic guy too. Don't forget about actually age 31. Was he athletic at the time? His playmaking was good. Athleticism A-. So yeah, he was still a very athletic guy when he was back on the Supersonics. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this simulation, and I will catch you guys in the next video.